From the News Channel 5 Network, this is Morning Line with Nick Barris.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us on Morning Line. And yes, the new year. Happy New Year to you. It's Nick Barris back in the saddle on the big show. After pretty much a couple of weeks of reruns, this is live. It's real, okay? We're back on. It may take a while for some of you to get back up to speed and rediscover that we're on live again. But we are into 2022. We'll get the phone number up there in just a moment if you want to join in the conversation. But I hope you had a good holiday with your family or wherever you went and were safe throughout it. It's good. It's kind of interesting for me. You go through the holidays, and yeah, it's a lot of fun with Christmas, Thanksgiving, whatever, you know, and then through the new year. When it's finally over and you kick into the fresh, brand new year, I kind of am motivated for it, and I'm almost finally come New Year's Eve and then New Year's Day saying, all right, that's behind us. Not like, I'm glad it's gone, but kind of like, in a way, I am glad it's over. And I don't know if Jim Shulman, the Vice-Mayor of Nashville, feels the same way. It's not that I didn't have a good time. I did. But I'm ready to move on, and I'm excited about the days getting longer now instead of shorter and heading in. Did you have a good holiday?
I did. Thank you. Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year. So are you looking back and say, yeah, I had a good time, but I'm ready to rock and move forward?
Yeah, I think, one of the benefits of having that string of holidays is that, particularly as you get ready for a new year, is that you do have some time to reflect.
Yes.
And think about the good things, but also think about some of the more negative things and also the sad things.
Yeah.
We lost a lot of people last year. And the Betty White thing on New Year's Eve was just, I think, just kind of,
It was just kind of a gut shot on that.
Yeah.
She was looking in January to celebrate her 100th birthday.
Right.
She was promoting Join Me for this, and she was so beloved. And then that comes along, and yeah, it's just now you start 2022, and I don't know. Was 2021 better than 2020 in your mind?
Yes.
Okay, I think it probably was. It wasn't quite, it was better. Still, those 2 years, I just soon forget. And then we've got this coming up, and you hope for better. We're not out of the pandemic.
No.
Wish we were, but we're not. The Omicron and all that. You didn't go, Omicron, you didn't go anywhere, did you?
No. No,
Yeah,
we stayed
stuck around too.
Basically right around here.
Yeah.
We didn't do anything.
Yeah, we were talking just as he sat down. We talked about Happy New Year and Happy New Year to all of you. I was up in Sky 5 for our 6 to 7 o'clock special that we had, and it was neat over the city.
This is New Year's Eve?
New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, it was impressive, and it was a big deal because CBS Network chose to televise it nationally as opposed to always doing, New York City and the ball dropping on Madison Square. And I thought Nashville looked great and came off great. Not just our little hour, but CBS's special. I thought it was great. And if you're anywhere in the country seeing it, it just once again is like, I'm going to go check out Nashville. Did you get to catch any of it at all?
I did. And particularly when they would start the segment and they would be kind of panning in from the pedestrian bridge coming in. The city looked really, really good. The
weather held off. The music that was played was spectacular. You may as well feature that. We had a good crowd. I guess they said, from beginning to end, tallied about 200,000. As I flew above at around 6 and 7, it was getting crowded, but it wasn't.
You weren't counting each of the 200,000. It did not
look to me, when I was up there, as big as the NFL draft. It did.
Yeah. I know they had a good-sized crowd, and knocked something over on your carpet.
Oh, that's all right. Don't worry. That wouldn't be the first time. All
right. So, no, I watched it on television. I thought the musicians' entertainment was great.
Yeah.
And, I know they were trying the best they could in terms of testing people when they came in. But it was a good-sized crowd. Yeah. And good, and then you also worry a little bit that, that somebody could be sick.
And we're both wondering, I think we both, think that now coming into the new year, at least for the next week or two, we're going to see spiking coming up. I guess that's already happening in Nashville and in every other city. And it's because this new strain of COVID is so, I guess, easily transmitted compared to the others, right?
Right.
And then, two, everyone's been close contact together. I think it'll spike and then it'll slow down.
Well, and that's the pattern we've seen of these things. We never quite know. I will tell you, we do have a Metro Council meeting tonight, the first of the year. It's not a long agenda, but we do have public hearings on some of the zoning matters. And so we sent a note out, particularly at the request of some of the council members, to say, hey, everybody be safe as you can. If you have a big zoning matter coming up, if you're going to have it, you can always defer, but if you're going to have it, let us know, and we're going to practice social distancing in the back of the chamber. We cannot enforce a mask mandate, we know that, but we would strongly encourage people, particularly at a time like this. And, you know, who's to say that this isn't the last time we go through one of these things? We'll see how long these things last. But this pandemic is still here. So you always have to be on your guard. So we're encouraging our council members to wear a mask, and we're going to practice social distancing with the public in the back, put chairs out in the hallway in case we need them, and get to the meeting. But what I was going to tell you was that Gil Wright, the head of the health department, will be at the council meeting tonight, and we're going to invite him to kind of give us an update. Okay, good. And aside from that, we'll take some calls here in a moment, but the two of the issues that you don't think will have substantial change, but redistricting and emissions are the two things they'll be discussing, right? Yeah, the emissions is on a resolution by Councilmember Roten, and that's again to no longer require Davidson County drivers. Saying, let's stop this program. You know, when the resolution was first introduced, I know the health department had some concerns. You know, we've had this for a while. It deals with pollution, emissions, things like that. But I believe the health department has said, you know, like all the donut counties, you know, we can stop this program. Yeah, the whole idea, though, and I don't know, do you understand, was it federally mandated at one point? I mean, there used to be cars that would spew, you know, really bad emissions, and you still see some of the older ones. It's not good. And so they said, okay, you have to go get tested. You know how you go, you wait in line, they put that in your tailpipe, and then you have to pay some money, and you get it passed, and then you go get the sticker. Right. Now, you still, the idea is that you'll no longer have to do that because we believe that cars are clean enough burning now. It's not a clean air issue anymore. Yeah, I mean, I think back then when we were alive, but younger, cars were polluting and polluting a lot. Yeah. And so the idea was we're going to have to start putting some standards on this, or we're putting too much carbon into the atmosphere. And so, you know, we started this emissions. It's been a long time, if you remember. As long as I can remember. Yeah. So it was a chance to make sure that your car, you know, was not over polluting. I mean, it was meeting the guidelines. And I remember, gee, I mean, I remember doing it for years and then having to go to the county clerk's office to get your tags. Right. Now you don't have to do that. If we pass this, we will. Will you still have to go get tags? Yeah, because you have to renew every year. Right, to register your car. And that's really the expensive thing. It's, I don't know, 10 or 20 bucks to get the emissions, and so it's not going to save you that much, but it is a time consumer. It takes a while. And you're right, car makers today know they can't be making cars that would fail emissions or no one's going to buy it. So they've all adapted. The cars now, hopefully, trucks all the way down, burn clean. The other thing is redistricting, which is a big topic across the board. Do we anticipate there to be some redistricting changes? So the way this works is the Planning Commission, working with the Planning Department, draws those lines, and then they review it, and then everybody looks at it, and then the Planning Commission is supposed to approve it and send it over to us. And we can either vote it up or down. And I think if we vote it down, then you have 40 members trying to piece together a map, which is probably very, very difficult. Yeah. I think it's taken 3 efforts by the planning department working with everybody to get a plan, but the last I heard it seemed to be okay. The biggest change would be if you look at, assuming this is still in the final plan, but they were moving District 8, which was up in Madison, because of the growth in the southeastern part of the city. They were moving it. We'll have a new 8. No longer in Madison, but down in the southeast region. Okay, but other than that, you don't anticipate you know, people complain about the size and the streets and some of the other stuff. I think they got that all worked out, and hopefully it'll kind of go through fairly quickly tonight. We'll see. All right, listen, we'll take a break. When we come back, Eric, Ann, and others, if you're on hold, phone calls. You know, you can talk to him, you can talk to me, or you can just talk to the other viewers out there. You'd rather talk to me. I think most of them would. We'll take a break, and we'll be back with your phone calls and more of our conversation with Jim Shulman, the Vice Mayor here in the city of Nashville, right after this. Stay with us.